Good morning, everybody. It is day 3 of my European vacation. It technically feels like day 2 since day 1 was just a travel day. It is currently about almost 6:15. I have been wide awake since 2 a.m. Just woke up. I did go to bed, I think around a little after 7 last night. This light's really bright over here, but the room's kind of dark right now. I just looked outside. It was completely dark out there. I am going on my first excursion today. The tour leaves at 7, so I'm gonna go downstairs and make sure that I'm going to the right place. And I'm thinking about getting a taxi. I was going to walk, but since it's dark, I'm like, I may get a taxi. I'm hoping there are taxis out there. But I'm going to talk to somebody at the front desk and make sure everything is safe and everything like that. I am wearing this sweatshirt today. It is supposed to be snowing where I'm going. I'm going to Andorra and France. I'm not sure which order. And another place in Spain. And it said snow today. I had previously emailed the company for the excursion and they said the tour is on. So as far as I know, the tour is happening. And right now I will tell you I'm a little bit hot in the room. I can't get the temperature adjusted just right. I'm either really, really hot or it's cold. And I keep having to look at it. It's all set in Celsius and I am like, what is that in Fahrenheit? So I think it's like 70 something degrees in the room. I am taking a coat today because it's going to be in the low 30s, and I had no idea that that was going to happen. If I had known when I booked the excursions what I know now, I probably would not have booked this particular one because I just hate cold weather. I hate snow. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to be able to go to 2 other countries and experience that as well. So that is why I'm doing it. I think I said this yesterday, I didn't realize everything was going to be closed. This would not be the time I would recommend anybody coming, but it is when the cruise ship was going to leave out of on Monday, April 2nd, so it's just the way it worked out. But if you were particularly going to come to this area just to explore for tourism, I would definitely wait until another month, maybe at the end of April, beginning of May. I think the weather was going to be a lot better and things should be open. Let's see, I had a pretty good night's sleep. I slept about 7 hours, but again, I'm just trying to get my system adjusted to their time. Let's see, what else? I'm not sure what else. Oh, I put one of those little wind jammer thingies that looks like your camera's got a mohawk, and I tested it out, then listened back to myself on the camera, and it was very muffled. I wish I would have tested it, put the SD card in the computer and listened to it from there, because now I'm afraid to use it, afraid that it's going to be muffled. But I mean, other people use them, they sound fine, everything should be fine. So I am bringing them with me today so I can just reattach it if I need to. And I feel like there was something else I was going to talk to you about, but I can't think of anything right now. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out, go downstairs and talk to somebody at the front desk to make sure where I'm going. I went down to the reception area, had them show it out on the map. I was correct in where I was going, but it is still dark out there. The guy said it would take 15-20 minutes to walk, and I said, is it safe? He said, it should be, and he didn't look very confident. He's like, do you want me to get you a taxi? I went, but he said it'd only take 5 minutes, and it is only 6:30 right now. I don't have to be there until 7, so I'll probably leave at 6:45 and he'll get me a taxi. He said it's like 5 minutes by taxi. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I realized I was carrying this bag today because I love this bag. It's so convenient. But I've got on, I don't know how well that's coming in, a pink skirt on. And I was like, ooh, I don't know that I want to do the red and the pink. So I think I'm going to switch over to my little black one. And because I've got so much stuff already in the big backpack that I don't really need a big handbag, but I like something just to get out the little bit of money I need. And you know, this is the stuff I need. I'm gonna see if my passport will fit in. I didn't test that out, but my iPhone fits in it, so my passport should. So let me try that out. I finally remembered what I was gonna tell you guys. When I booked this room, I paid extra for the breakfast because I thought it's just gonna be easier to eat here and it makes more sense, which is a great idea, except for the fact that I ended up booking these tours, and the tours start before breakfast does, or I have to leave before breakfast. So I was like, oh shoot, I paid for something, there's nothing I can do about it now that I am not getting. I know I won't get it today, so I ended up bringing snacks. I always bring snacks on my trip, so I had snacks for breakfast, thank goodness, because literally most of the places are closed. You can't get anything, and I'm not gonna get breakfast here, but tomorrow I'm taking a much earlier excursion. I think I have to be there at 6:45. I need to look to be sure, but I may be back before breakfast ends. It's from 7 to 11, and that I don't know if I'll get back before 11 or not, but so it looks like the only day I'm gonna eat it is the day I check out. Oh well. It's just one of those things in life. I should have planned better, but I booked the hotel before I even booked the excursions. You live and you learn. So that's one thing to think about when you're paying extra for something, is make sure it's not going to conflict with other things you pay extra for. It's getting close now to 6:45. It's 6:40 right now, so I'm about to head back downstairs to get the hotel, guy at the front desk to get me a cab.
Let me just finish this. What was it? The referendum, yeah. So, yeah, on that day, ugly scenes. I'm sure you've seen it around the world, where Spanish police tried to stop the referendum, and images of riot police hitting people and taking ballot boxes. It's not very nasty, not very helpful for anybody. But anyway, so listen, the results of the referendum. So
we are at our first stop, and we are in Berga. I hope I said that right. I'm with half of the group right now. They just went into a coffee shop right here. I don't drink coffee, so I just decided to stay out here when I'm alone and it's not so awkward talking to the camera. But there is what appears to be a church right there. I think the guide said this is a town of about 2,000 people. And we are getting very close to the Pyrenees Mountains. The guide said that anytime you see yellow ribbons like that, they're asking for the political prisoners to be freed. I think that's what he said anyway.
Saint Stephen. It's my church.
Oh, it's your church.
Yeah. Because what? Stephen in Spanish
Esteve.
is Esteban, and Catalan is Estela, and that's why my political family, they still call me Steve. Steve. They put an invisible E before my name. And I've been 16 years telling them no.
Where are you, dude? Hear the string? Oh, they're really fun. I love to hear those running strings.
Black nuts. They're on the tree. I thought he was waiting for us. He's not. He's emptying the garbage.
Yeah, he's not waiting.
No. So, do you see that snow-covered mountain there? That's the real Pyrenees. At last, that one, the snow-covered one sticking out. Okay. Anyway, this is the round tower of the medieval city wall. Okay. So I mean, various phases of construction. This one dates from the 1600s. Okay. So, and you know, you can see those narrow windows that they use for one side for throwing out the arrows, just around the corner. But we're going to, around here there's one of the entrances through the medieval wall, and we're going to enter the medieval part of the village, and I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine, Galceran de Pinos.
What should we say to him? Make him happy.
A cat? We've got a cat.
Yeah, okay. That's really
Oh, you got Bon Dia, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he'll be happy, right?
Yeah, you make his day. Did you say Bon Dia again with your coffee? Well,
She was impressed when she said it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where there was like the viewing point and it was getting put on.
yeah, you know what it is. Sorry,
You're gonna have to speak awful loud
I
for your
neglected to
interview,
tell you that he's a statue.
What is your friend's
The
name?
sword's almost as tall as he
Galceran
is.
de Pinos. Yeah. So listen, come close. Of Galceran. Well, Galceran is a local hero. He was a local nobility figure, and this is from more or less to the 800s. But back in those days, they had the feudal system, which meant that, you know, the king was the king, and he would give land to nobility, who in turn would fight in their wars and give them support, and then there was the peasants who just had nothing. But Galceran was a noble lord around about here, but he was a very fair man. And one day he was called into battle. So this is about 800 AD, and this is when, you know, they were fighting against the Moors. Yeah. So of course, the end of the 700s. Scene at the end of the fight, the two supers run through some fight, big legs come on, it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
If you look to the left, we can see St. Stephen's Church again. Get a nice yeah, can you see St. Stephen's Church in the middle there?
See a big yellow.
Yeah, the big yellow bowl, yeah.
Maybe you have mine.
Why he loves the gospel.
There's also, well, a lot of people also, we're gonna go through a tunnel shortly. It's called the Tunnel de Karrie. Karrie is the mountain, and that's going to bring us into our last comarca, the last of Spain. Remember, Catalonia is 55 different comarcas, but the next comarca is called Cerdanya, and that's very upmarket, much more so than Berga. On the left is called Puig-Cerdà, which is the capital town of this comarca of Cerdanya, and will be our last town in Spain. The border is just the other side. Here, Puig-Cerdà, and then we're going to go deep 2 departments up to Ax-les-Thermes. So here, you want to pass that around? So in the 1600s, one of the last great religious wars in Europe was the 30-year War. And I mean, after the First World War and the Second World War and the Napoleonic Wars, it's one of the biggest European wars that there ever was. It started off as a religious war, but eventually at the end it got political. It started in, well, Bohemia, which is now Czechoslovakia. Whereas the Protestant majority, I think we're kind of in a buffer no man's land, and there's a river shortly, and then it will be Bonjour. Not yet. Hold it. Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
Très bon. Et tu parlez-vous français?
Oui, un petit peu.
Voulez-vous acheter comme moi? No, I didn't say that.
Famous for.
That wasn't the pointer.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Thanks.
That's a ski lift. Yeah, of course it was. How do you put a walk in this one to eat? Ready to get Yeah. Not really. So this is one of the thermal springs. This is known as the Bassi dels Ladras. There's no French person here, which means the lepers basin. So this is where they used to come to cure their leprosy. And there's always been a hospital. It's missing the S. There's always been a hospital here, and before they had a medieval wall, and this hospital was inside the medieval walls. And we're gonna, you see, the source of this water is over here, there. Let's have a look and have a smell. Yeah, it is. So,
they're top. Look at it.
the source of this heat can be found here.
Look at that here.
So I know, I'm sure we can manage a translation. Non-portable.
Don't drink it.
So O of course, well, 3 vowels to make one sound. O, it is water, so not drinkable water. And can you smell that?
Yeah, it's a sewer.
I'm now in Ax-les-Thermes. I mispronounced that royally. France. It's a very small town. There's like a ski lift over there. You guys should be able to see that hopefully. I know it's teeny tiny, but ski lifts right there. Those were thermal springs over there. We're gonna be here about 1 hour and 40 minutes. I may get something to eat. I'm getting a little hungry. Here's a market right there. And just some stuff. I'm not planning on really doing any shopping. I just want to get something to eat maybe. But it's a cute little town and my first time in France. So pretty cool.
good look. It's kind of hard to see it. That's yourself.
The snow just blew out of the mountain in front of us.
Dios mío.
Now no one will go.
Let's go, come on,
Now
let's do
everybody's
this.
He dots his I's and crosses his T's.
Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. There's nobody here. What? Do we really get a ticket or something?
Well,
Do it?
maybe, but it's obviously not working. How far
It's
is it?
been like
Oh,
10
Go on, break the law, live dangerously. Do it, man.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Hey, he did it. All right.
Hey guys, I am back in my hotel room after a really long day. I think I told you guys I woke up about 2 a.m. Barcelona time. That was still like yesterday evening Nashville time, so it is crazy. Let me see. It is now 8:25 p.m. Barcelona time, so I've been up for quite a while. I went to my excursion this morning. It left at 7 a.m. and we returned back at about 7:30 p.m. so it was like a 12.5 hour excursion. Then I just walked back to my hotel. It was less than a mile. It's the Plaza Catalunya or something like that. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but that's where we got dropped off. And that's actually where I'm going for my excursion in the morning. It's another very early one. So let's just kind of, I didn't vlog a lot today, especially where I'm talking to the camera. I still feel really weird about just pulling it out in front of people and just start talking to the camera, because people always look at you like you're really, really strange when you do that. But I did try to get some footage in the bus as we were driving by. So I'm hoping some of that will turn out. On the way this morning, the windows were pretty clear, but we went through, and I'm not kidding you, a blizzard. At least what it seemed like to me. I've never seen snow like that before at all. So we left Barcelona at 7 a.m. We drove to Berga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's B-A-G-A, but the tour guide said the emphasis was on that last day, like Berga or something like that. My accents are atrocious when I try to say anything in another language, so I apologize to anybody that is from Spain, and I don't mean to insult you. After that, it was, it's very, very, very cold. It was about 32 degrees, so freezing. I guess that's 0 degrees Celsius. Maybe, I don't know what 1 degree Celsius, but it may have been around like 1 or 2 degrees. I saw a temperature reading like 2 degrees Celsius somewhere. I just know that that's really cold. So the sun was shining, but it was this tiny little town. I'm not even sure why we stopped there. There wasn't a lot to see. No offense to the town, it was quaint, but still not sure why we stopped there at all. There was like 2 coffee shops and 1 pastry shop, and that was it. And there was an old church there. We walked around, just basically went around the block, saw the statue, and then we walked back to the bus and we left. And so the weather was fairly decent on the way to France. We went to Ax-les-Thermes, or I don't know, I'm maybe mispronouncing that. I'm sure I am. And it's a place where there's natural thermal springs there. And there was 2 of them that our tour guide showed us. About maybe, I don't know, just a little bit before we arrived at that stop, it started raining. But it was just misting, and I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. I've got an umbrella. Thank goodness I brought the umbrella, but it was so cold out there. So we get out from the bus and we walked to the first spring. It was just mainly like the size of a pool, a swimming pool. Not that deep, but about the size of a swimming pool. And then the guide's like, I'm gonna walk to the other spring and you're welcome to join me, or just walk around the town, get a bite to eat, whatever. So I just kind of like, well, I'm gonna go down there and see that. We had about an hour and a half or something in that town, so it was a very quick walk to the other spring. And I stuck my hand in it, and it does smell like sulfur, so not the best smelling, but it wasn't too stinky. It was really, really warm. I heard somebody say it was 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and it felt really good. If I would have brought a towel, like a couple of towels with me, I would have stuck my feet in there and just stayed for a while, because it was freezing. I ended up buying a pair of gloves, and I've got them around here somewhere. I didn't want to buy gloves. I probably will never wear those gloves again. They were €5, but it was, I was desperate times, let me tell you. It was freezing. So I ended up getting a piece of pizza to eat there in France. Probably, you know, it's not really French food, but there wasn't a lot of choices whatsoever. And I also got a pastry, which I haven't eaten yet. I thought, you know, I'll just bring it back with me. So we left there. Everybody was ready to go. There was 20 of us on the tour bus, and almost everybody was from the United States. There was a couple from England, and the husband was actually Irish, but he lived in England all of his life. Then there was a lady kind of beside me from Brazil, and 2 ladies in the very back that were from Bahrain. Everybody else was from pretty much the southern part of the United States. There was from one couple from Las Vegas, but I was from Tennessee. There was a couple that just moved to Arkansas. There was people from Georgia and North Carolina, so in Texas. So the South was well represented on that tour today. Then we moved on to Andorra, and we were going up into the Pyrenees Mountains, and they're pretty tall mountains. I forgot how high the guide said they were. I think he said over 3,000 meters, and 1 meter is just over 3 feet. I don't know how many inches over 3 feet, but it's over 3 feet, so that's pretty tall. And as we were getting into, actually when we just left France, or that one stop in France, it started snowing, but it was just, you could see it here and there mixed with the rain. And as we were getting into Andorra, we kept going up into the mountains. I'm trying to remember, we were pulling into a place where the guide said he was going to try to get our passports stamped, and he was able to get them stamped. As we were in that place, it started snowing heavily, almost blizzard-like. And when we had pulled into it, I looked over to my left, and there were cars buried in the snow. I mean, you could barely see the roof of the cars peeking out. There was so much snow, but all the roads were clear. And we hit this one area that was just past the passport stamping place, and it was a whiteout. You could not see anything. I don't know how the driver did it. Cars just suddenly stopped because they couldn't see anything, but he was able to get the bus stopped quickly. We made it safely through to Andorra. And then there was another point in time, I'm not sure where on the road it was, where a car just suddenly decided they were going to stop right in front of the bus, and he had to slam on his brakes. We literally probably missed that car by inches. So thankfully, no wrecks. We got through a snowstorm, and then we made it over to Andorra la Vella, I believe, which is the capital of Andorra, and basically the shopping mecca of maybe Europe. It's a small country, and I think they said it was like the guide said it was the 6th largest or 6th smallest country in Europe. But if you were interested in electronics like cameras, watches, perfumes, they had all of that stuff. They had, you know, they had Zara. I just walked into the Zara store. I didn't get anything because I just wanted to go inside of one. And I went into a couple of other places, bought a few things, which I'm saving for a haul. So just walked around. The weather was absolutely beautiful there. It was on the cold side, but I had my sweatshirt on, I had my coat on, but I didn't even need to wear those gloves. So just walked around. We only got about an hour and 30 minutes or so there, if that long, and we could have definitely spent more time in Andorra. So my overall view of this excursion today, it was a good day. I was glad I can say I've gone to France and Andorra now. Definitely could have skipped that first place in Spain. Again, no offense, I just don't see the reason for the stop, and really they could have easily skipped the place in France. There was not much there at all. It was a ski resort town. There were just not very many shops at all, very limited eating places. There was a market, like an outdoor market that was selling, I think, paella. cheeses, different things like that, some clothing. But as soon as it started raining heavily, they closed that up. So there was just very little to do, and it was miserable, it was cold, it was wet, and we were all ready to go, and it was kind of like we had way too much time in that town. I might have felt differently if it hadn't been raining and cold. But anyway, I've been talking almost 10.5 minutes right now, actually 10.5, but I just kind of wanted to catch you up on the day since I didn't actually do a whole lot of vlogging. I'm gonna work on doing more of that. So we made it back safe and sound. I'm back in my hotel room. I am tired. I want to go take a shower and just go to bed. But I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. But overall, I had a really great day. I am so happy to say I now have added 2 other countries to my list of countries that I've been to, France and Andorra. Definitely enjoyed Andorra a lot more than France, but I'm not going to write France off. That's just one tiny place there. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog. I hope the footage was okay today, what I did get. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I am going to Montserrat in the morning. I did get some footage from Montserrat from the roadway today. I think I did. I tried. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to La Sagrada Familia, and then to Park. I've always heard it pronounced Park Güell. The tour guides called it Park Güell. So I have no idea what it's actually called. My tour guide was from Ireland, so I'm not sure how that accent translates over to what it's called in Barcelona. But anyway, I will find out tomorrow. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog. I will chat with you later, and anyway, good night.